Well, it's morning. We're at camp and we're dressed in our hiking best. Do you know where we're going? What
to
it's
the
called?
Jungle. Well, to the... Dad, you can't do that.
Okay, I'll edit that out. Well, we're going to Olympic National Park. Very excited to check out this crazy place. Well, we set out to go to Olympic National Park for adventure, and we have found it. But we weren't expecting to find it in the form of an old gravel washboard road. I think we went the wrong way. This can't be the way to the national park. We're doing 15 miles an hour. The road just kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller and fewer people. And then we hit this tiny little bridge and it turned into dirt. But we're out here so far, we're afraid to turn around. Because we've gone a long ways. This dirt road actually comes out to a paved road and a highway. Sometimes the old maps is so bad. You do not appreciate modern day smooth roads until you're off on a little old dirt road like the old days. That's why it took 6 days to get 8 miles in the old days. Pacific Coast Highway. We finally made it to Highway 101. Boy, does it feel good. It's so weird that we are on the northern tip of the United States on Highway 101. And if we stay on this road and just head south, we will go all the way down to San Diego on the southernmost tip. We've been there too. We've been all the way, well, we've been into Mexico, and now we're gonna be almost to the Canadian border. So weird. We've noticed that the names in Washington, the names of roads, are, a lot of them anyways, are very like literal. Like if the road runs along the interstate, it's called Interstate Road. There's this industrial area and it's called Industrial Road. There's a road right next to a park and it's called Parkland Road. So we're going through this town called Hump Tulips. You know where I could go with that. So we've learned some things. We're in the National Forest, not the National Park, but we're very close to the National Park. Although if you look at a map, this National Park is ginormous. Just to give you an idea of how huge it is, from our camp this morning, it said it's an hour and a half to the National Park, which it is, right at the edge of it. But to get to the actual like visitor center in the main National Park, it's 3.5 hours. We are right now, even though we're on the edge of the National Park, we're still 2 hours away from getting to where we want to be. And then hopefully make it to the rainforest before it gets too dark. I don't know if it's just that this national park is ginormous, or if it's that there's just really one way through it, but we're still 3 hours, well probably 2.5 hours now, from the main entrance of the national park. Look at it on your map. It's huge. It's 1 million square, I wanted to say miles, 1 million acres. We haven't even gone anywhere yet, Z. Z thought this whole time we've been driving for the past hour and a half that we were driving back home. We've been driving away from home. I hope it's worth it. We'll see if it's worth it. I mean, it is a trek and a half to get out here. There's nothing out here. It is the most deep wilderness I think I've ever felt like I've been in.
You want to be a hermit.
Yeah, well, that's what you're saying. If you want to be a hermit and live in the middle of nowhere, this is it. Whoa, that was a marathon of a drive. It was so long. I don't know why it felt like so stinking long. Just slow roads and slow drivers, but we made it. And of course, the kids, as they typically do, left the door open. Well, we made it. somewhere. There's a lodge, an awesome lodge over here, where apparently President Roosevelt stayed before making this a national park. That is one impressive looking lodge. Look at the little well there. It's like Snow White's well. Pretty awesome. Oh yeah, those are cool. Bigfoot. Cool shirts. Look how cool that is. Look how pretty this is. This is a rustic lodge. Yeah, totally. Jeez, what a view. How stinking cool. Well, we haven't seen much yet, and it took us a long time to get here. Over some wild... Oh, that's cool, Z. Take two. Over some wild, crazy roads, windy and empty, and at times gravel and dirt. But even though it's crazy, even though it was long, just seeing this lodge and this crazy view makes it worthwhile. And we haven't even seen any of the park yet. Look at that lodge. Where do you focus? Gorgeous.
Don't.
We don't know where we're at. We're lost. We're confused. She thinks I'm being overly dramatic for the video. And I am. I told her you gotta make these entertaining for the people. Z, go stand next to that tree. I want to see how big it is. Like, put your arms around it. That is a huge tree. And Z is 6 feet tall. Quest is to find Bigfoot this journey. Think you will?
We don't know where he is.
Miss Rose looks like your average teenager.
I'm editing a picture. I have no service or anything.
I will say, it'd be hard to find a better place for a picnic. Look at this. Oh. Pretty good place for a picnic, Z. It's so strange looking on the map and realizing how far north we are. We're practically to the Canadian border. The closest I've been to Canada is Northern California. No, Bend. Danielle loves me. She can't let go. I'm actually being a crutch for her. Typically, she leaves everybody and literally walks miles ahead of everyone. We're like, where'd Mom go? I don't know. She's way up ahead. But now she's with me forever. And won't let go.
Like the movie Misery.
Yeah. That's a pretty tree. This cool tree looks like it belongs in a haunted house. It looks like cobwebs or something. It looks like cobwebs.
That's why it's a national park.
Hundreds of years ago, Washington State. We like to have fun. But if you have too much fun and your fun gets too loud, other people walk by and they're like, why are you being so loud? What are you doing? Be quiet. What are you doing? This is pretty stinking cool. Wow. That is awesome. Well, we've seen, and now we go home. Just some cool roots.
That's crazy.
I know you cannot tell, but this tree is so bulky.
What did the one bulky tree say to the other bulky tree?
What?
Doesn't it look like a dragon?
Let's bulk up!
Yeah.
You can't even tell, but this tree is like so thick and it doesn't get any thinner toward the top. It just stays so thick. Daniel was just saying that my spouse Daniel that it feels like you're walking through a Grimm Brothers fairy tale. Like, it just looks like all of this stuff is alive and trying to eat you in the coolest way possible. Look at these trees. It's just so wild the way, like, these trees are just growing on other trees. Zealand is insane. He's playing Harry Potter.
Dad, look at that bridge.
This thing? I mean, Z said this does kind of remind us of this plantation in South Carolina called Magnolia Plantation. One of our favorite places ever. It's just similar because there you have Spanish moss, and this you have like live living moss. This is one of those places like Yosemite that you cannot capture with a camera. Maybe if you're Ansel Adams, but even then, it's really, oh my gosh. Wow. Like, you know, it was a long ways out here. A lot of driving, and I was really afraid that it was going to be kind of like, huh, okay, kind of cool. And really when we first got here and started walking on the trail, the first like half mile was kind of like, okay, it's cool, it's pretty, but man, you get in here, it's phenomenal, it's unreal, it's unlike anything else I've ever seen. It looks like skeletons just,
Yeah.
wow.
I know.
It's almost like you're in a Tim Burton movie. Or like The Gruffalo. Have you seen The Gruffalo? It's such a great movie. There's 2 of them. But it's kind of like that world.
This place is really cool. It's full of like, okay, if you have ever been to Disneyland, it looks like Haunted Mansion. Totally Haunted Mansion. Okay.
It's hard to describe. It's just because of all the mosses, I guess, that are hanging down that you're not used to. And the way, right now we're in the evening, and it's sunny, which is rare here. And the sun, the way the sun is, it's pretty awesome. I know what you're really watching this for. You wanted to see a little tiny chipmunk eating a pine cone.
I wish somebody just pushed me in.
Well, we did it. We drove, we stopped, we went to the wrong spot, we drove some more, and then we made it. And we walked around, and now it's time to leave. This place is so unbelievably huge. We just asked the ranger how far it would be to the next point of interest here at this park, and it's 3 hours away. 2.5 if the road wasn't closed, but still way too long for it being 4 o'clock. So I guess we would recommend if you come here, get here early and realize that you're going to be spending most of your time driving, trying to get to the next spot. Did you guys feel like this was worth the drive?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
And there's really 2 main things that you want to see when you come to this national park. It's the rainforest, which we just saw, and then there's the Hurricane Peak, or Hurricane, what's it called? Hurricane something, mountain range. That looks incredible. I'd love to go and see it, but 3 hours away means we won't be there until 7:30, which means you only have that much light. Probably be gorgeous, but it'll be a long drive back. Oh, and until next time, subscribe to our channel, won't you? And like this video, comment, as long as it's positive, and share it with your friend and kinfolk. I don't even know what a kinfolk is, but share it with them. Your sunglasses? I don't know. You don't have them? That is not good. Are you serious?